Good evening, brothers and sisters. Child of Grace. I was asked a question in the chat there, a real good question. It's really hard to answer. And it's like this: how do you know you're being chastened? How you know the difference? When you're being chastened, or is it just the devil giving you a hard time? Well, to start out with, I want to put it out there and explain it. No matter what it is, there's nothing that can separate you from God's love. So whatever happens to you, it's going to work out for your good, no matter what it is. But like I say, on this thing about chastening, it's not really punishment as much as it is restraining the child of grace, or moderating. I don't know exactly all the words to put it, but sometimes God's people just have to go through things. Paul had a buffeter of Satan, so sometimes it's like this. Have you noticed my servant, whoever you are there, Job, or whoever you are? God is ready to put your faith on trial. So sometimes you'll be for righteousness' sake, you might suffer our darts of the Satan. So chastening is one thing. I believe chastening would go over when you've done something wrong. When you know that you've sinned, and God has to discipline you, or whatever you want to call it, or chasten you. Whomever He loves, He chastens. All I know is that's a hard question. But anyway, there's one time where He turned a child of grace over to Satan. So He just turned him over to the Satan. He said, "Well, you don't want to listen to the still small voice of the Spirit, the still small voice, or we'll turn you over to Satan and let you listen to him." And what I'm trying to say is the loud voice of Satan, that gives you no peace. Brothers and sisters, sometimes God, I don't know the answer to this question, is what I'm trying to say, but it's just a lifetime of error, a trial and error. Sometimes God will allow you. He thinks you're grown up enough. It's time now to try your faith, and you'll do battle with the old devil, and you'll get to know his voice. I'll tell you how it is. On me, cattle are driven, sheep are led. The sheep are led by the Spirit. Cattle are driven by the devil. And so if you feel driven, then that's the old devil. And if you feel like it's discouraged beyond, you beat down, well, that's the old devil giving you a hard time, because he knows that we fail God in thought, word, and deed while we're in this vessel of clay. And he's the accuser of the brethren, brothers and sisters. He's your accuser. So that's my answer to the little thing, Paul had a buffeter of Satan his whole life. Sometimes God uses a Satan to buffet me. I'm about to learn his voice after all these years. He's usually real loud, pointing out all your faults. The flesh is weak, brothers and sisters, and sometimes we fail him, and the old devil will point that out to you, real loud. But the Holy Spirit says, he's one of mine. He's God is making intercession for that prayer, for that child of grace over there. He's making intercession. Besides that, brothers and sisters, before the foundation of the world was laid, that name was written in the book of life. And no matter what you do, this is the good news at the end of the thing. The good news is, no matter how you err, God's taking care of that through the blood of His precious Son that was shed for His people. His people, brothers and sisters. That's the difference when you turn on my channel. They're going to say Jesus died for the sins of the whole world. But I'm saying Jesus shed His blood for His people. It's a particular people, a great multitude of people. So that's the difference when you turn over on my channel. I'm not going to say that. I listen to it all day long. They said, they spread it out as a general thing. But no, brothers and sisters, God has a people. And if anybody, a lot of people turn me in and then they turn me off after they find this out. God has a people that it showed before the foundation of the world. And so you can't get up there and put your name in the book of life. So that takes a lot of and that takes off all the pressure. But if you're experienced, if you ever pray, that's evidence that you're one of His. If you're ever done something wrong and feel bad about it, and your conscience starts to bother you, that's evidence that you're one of His. But the question was asked, well, how do you know when He's chasing you? Well, I know. I know when I've done wrong. I tell you what, it's more than likely it's like this, that He'll be you'll grieve the Holy Spirit, and it just something won't be right. That's the way it is with me. That's even worse to me than, like David said, take not thy Holy Spirit from me. He's not talking about the Holy Spirit leaving him. He's talking about there's just something there that's not right when you know you've been doing wrong, brothers and sisters. And sooner or later, he addresses that problem in your life. He might turn you over to the devil, or he might not. I can't answer that question. But anyway, just want to get on here and try to answer that little question. I hope it helps somebody. Those whom He loveth, He chasteneth. So, brother and sister, that tells you that there's some that He does not love. If you love somebody, you want the best for them. And even when we're going through all these trials down here below, some of them, some people might not be suffering. And some of God's people don't have the same the same. We're not cut out of the same cookie dough. Each person is different, so He deals with everybody, all of His different children of grace on different levels. But anyway, that's the best I can answer the question. Anyway, one thing I want to say is, while I'm before I check out of here, is I hope I answered that question. But regardless of what happens, you can't. There's nothing you can do that can separate you from that great love, brothers and sisters. Anyway, peace and love from this old boy down here in Alabama.